Hello, everybody. So, as you know, me and my group members are going to be breaking down the ethical for your speeches. Today, I'm going to be talking about the H and the I, which stand for humor and illustrations, and I'm going to be talking about how they can be useful tools to have in your speech and just a little bit about them. So, starting with humor, humor can be a useful tool in the sense that it makes your speech more memorable, right? So it's easier to remember a joke than a bunch of statistics that you just dropped, right? And if there's any chance that you could have your audience leave and remember what you just said because of a joke, that puts you in a great position as a speaker. Like that's your goal. You want your audience to take what you take what you gave them, and then not only like remember it and be like, okay, think about it, but you also want them to employ it in their daily lives. And if that becomes possible just because of a joke, who cares? You did your job. Um, but just like all tools in the world, humor can be dangerous. And what I mean by that is it can be damaging to your speech. For example, if there's too much humor, it can become distracting to your audience. It can create like a more loose environment. So now they're not really focused on what you're saying. They're having side conversations and all this. And also, the joke has to have some type of correlation to what you're saying or what your speech is about. You don't want to just be giving a speech about whales and make a joke about basketball. Like that doesn't make any sense, and that's how your audience will take that too. They'll be confused as to why that was even just said or what importance it had to your speech in the first place. So remember that humor is a good tool to have. Don't have too much of it. The joke has to stay on topic. And yeah. So moving on to the next is illustrations. Illustrations are helpful because they can help paint the picture or the main points that the speaker is trying to make to the audience. And what I mean about this is like, for example, say you're giving a speech about lemons. Who knows why? But at some point you're talking about the world's largest lemon. So to help your audience get the idea of like how big this world largest lemon is, you're gonna start talking about how average lemons or like the regular size for a lemon is slightly smaller or the size of an apple. So now your audience has that image in their head, lemon equal apple, and then you're gonna say, but now the world's largest lemon is the size of a watermelon. Boom, that image is now in your audience's head. And this is helpful because at the same time, like you're keeping them engaged in what you're talking about. So they're not only listening, but they're thinking about what you're saying. Like, wow, that's a big lemon. Like, so just like humor, when used effectively, it can be a tool to help keep your audience engaged and in tune to what you're saying. So in conclusion, humor and illustrations are very helpful tools. You gotta help, but you gotta keep it to a minimum. Next time you're struggling with a speech and not knowing if it's engaging or not, add a sprinkle of humor and some illustrations for your audience, and I promise it will benefit you as well.